As usual, this is our Blackenedhills reading. So I hope you'll come and join us for a little bit of terror. We're going to start out on page 34. First, we're going to wait and see if anybody's going to show up. Oh, hello, McCash. How you doing? Yep, first to like, man. That scald was for you. I know I didn't use the horn, but the horn needs to be clean. Thank you for showing up. We're going to see if a few more people are going to show up, and then we'll get to our Blackenedhills reading. Guys, we had a great time at Mama's. It was a wonderful party. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Welcome in, welcome in. As y'all can tell from the thumbnail, tonight we'll be reading from my horror novel, Blackenedhills. So, hope you guys will show up. Or stick around. I'm glad that she did love the ribs, though, Bubba. I'm glad they came out right. My mama ended up loving the gator I prepared for her. Thank you. What's up, Raymond? How you doing, Bubba? Now, tonight I'm going to be reading from my horror novel, so it's going to be a little scary, okay? I'm doing great today, man. Somebody set off a firework. But I'm doing great today, man. All right, we're going to wait for a few more people. There's my Jin. How you doing, baby? We got it all set up and ready to go. And we're just waiting for a few more regulars to see if they're going to show up. So, guys, in case you didn't know, Jen Holder, or Jen down here, is my girlfriend. So y'all can go see her at Jen Holder 976 and go subscribe to her too, guys. Let's go on ahead and share the love. All right, we got a few people in here. Yeah, you did. I'm glad that you got to catch the live now, baby. Let's get ready to jump into this reading of Blackenedhills. All right, guys? I didn't get 50 yards from the chapel when the woman screamed as if she could never scream again. I tried to get closer, but the children wouldn't let me. It was then I noticed their clothing was crudely made out of human skin. It's also not all the children who work for gentry. I learned this from a young man named Harley. As I was about to approach a window and look within the chapel, that's when Harley stopped me. "You don't want to do that, mister," he said with fear in his eyes. "She's done for, and if you go after her, you'll be done for too." He told me that he knew of a safe house nearby where with more people like me who had escaped Gentry's hold and the psychotic children he controls. I didn't believe him at first till another boy leapt on me from above. They leapt on him from above. I struggled for a minute. The other kid foaming at the mouth. His eyes were blood red, with a pale blue iris, wide and full of madness and fury. The child bore a nasty-looking handmade bone weapon. It looked like a comma made out of a ragged bone and shards of metal. Harley wasted no time in ramming a pocket knife deep into his neck, pulling it straight out, leaving a massive gash. The child died gurgling and laughing at his own pain. I choose to follow Harley after that. I sit in an old train car with about 24 people and only 3 adults, including myself. After a short interrogation, I convinced them of who I was. They, in turn, told me their plan. They intended to attack the church, but the children insisted they knew a way out. For now, we all decided to sleep it over. It's strange when I look at these children. They are anything but. They are, well, they're literally like miniature adults. One thing I was told, anyone bears a brand with this symbol. Apparently they work for whatever it is that Gentry has become, or if he works for Solus Black or not. Either way, I think I will go with the children when we escape. Their plan seems the safest plan to go with. For now, I will simply have to sleep. These are the symbols that he was talking about. If they bore those 2 marks, they worked for Gentry. See you tomorrow, McCash. Hi. Oh, okay. I got you, man. See you later, Carfire. I went with the children. I had no idea why, but my gut told me I was safer. One of the men who had survived called me a coward for not fighting with them. However, a woman who was with them came to my aid by telling them that she needed help protecting the children. The men agreed and decided that they would be a distraction while the women, children, and I escaped. The 2 men had homemade Molotov cocktails. We prepared ourselves for the attack. They headed out to war with Gentry and his monsters. For sure, they are children, but his vile influence has turned them into true monsters. The fight didn't go in our favor. We lost all the adults but me, and all but 1 child. The men charged the church. Gentry and his psychos were waiting, like they knew. One of the men went down right away. Those zombie kids of his leapt on him like he was candy. I tried to ignore the screams, but I couldn't. I began to quietly sob. I think the children led us more than we led them. Even their sharp wit was no match. Several of the children threw a few firebombs into the windows of the church. That was a good enough distraction to get Gentry's attention. He turned to face us, and at the same moment, the last of the men threw his Molotov cocktail straight at Gentry's head. It shattered, bursting into flames. He turned, staring straight at the man. With a flick of the wrist, the fire went from Gentry to the man before him. His hair didn't even singe. He never winced or flinched in pain. He just waved the flames away. It was when he laughed, raising his hand to the sky, and said one word, "Yes." I didn't recognize the language. I didn't even have time. After uttering these words, the ground shook violently, splitting into massive fissures. Out of these fissures came 9 long necks with the most monstrous heads I have ever seen, attached to each end. The tendrils came flying out of the rest. We scattered, and I don't know what happened to everyone. The last thing I remembered was seeing the woman being dragged into a crack by one of those heads. It had her by the intestines, pulling her down. The last child and I are holding up in an old lift station for the sewers. Maybe we'll be safe one more night. We will see what tomorrow brings. Where is Harley? Did he live? What is that thing? And what power does Gentry have? 23rd to 24th of Caldoria. At this point, he doesn't know where or what time he is. Sleeping didn't last long. Those horrible worm creatures came crashing through the wall. They tore and gnashed at us with their teeth. I tried to save her. I really tried to save the last child. The heads, they caught her by her little thigh. It ripped the sweet little thing out of my arms. I watched helplessly as they ripped her limb from limb. One of the heads buried itself deep into her abdomen. I watched as she was devoured so fast she was still alive, even after she had no heart to beat and no lungs to breathe. She just looked at me blinking, face filled with tears and fear streaming down her cheeks. Her jaws attempted to speak. The last I saw, one of those things bit off the front part of her skull. At that moment, I ran, not looking back. I could see the tree line, maybe 100 yards or more. I sprinted as fast as my legs would carry me. I could see those horrible children running just out of my main line of sight, staying in my peripheral vision. They kept a steady pace. How can they move so damn fast? My lungs burned and ached so bad that I thought they would burst less than 50 yards away. The first of those children leapt on me. He brought a strange-looking club. I managed to catch it before it cleaved my skull in two. It was a shotgun with a pistol grip. After a brief struggle, I wrenched the weapon from the boy's hand. He was impressively strong. I then proceeded to bash him in the head. It only took one, maybe two hits before he was done. I tried the action. Lock and mechanism was on. Luckily, luck was on my side when I saw a green shell enter the chamber. 20 yards, and I would be home free. I pushed harder and harder. Another child leapt at me. I raised the gun. Thunder came roaring out of the end of the sawed-off shotgun. The pistol grip handle almost flew out of my hands. I saw him double over and hit the ground, rolling. I can't believe what I shot was a child. I felt like my legs were gonna break. 5 more yards, and I was home free. I fired another round at the kids. 1 yard left. I leapt at the tree line like it was home base in a game of tag. Somehow, it worked. I looked back to see the kids standing there 3 feet away from the tree line. I screamed at the top of my overly exhausted lungs. I don't know how long I was there screaming, but I passed out after a moment. The kids are gone, thanks to the creatures. Oh, thanks to the Creator. Only question is, what now? I hate Harmon Hollow. Still, who is Gentry? What's up, Sean? How you doing, man? How you doing, JCO? I'm reading from my book, at the moment. Most of the time, my channel I do about real positive stuff, but every Sunday night, I read from my horror novel. I found a fallen tree to shelter under for the night. It was so cold and dark. Terror riddled my brain all night, leading to the worst night's sleep in my life. The bugs, the cold ground, the worst of all was the horrible sounds that came at me from every angle. I didn't know what paranoia meant till this one truly horrible night. One of many, I am not going to die out here. If not, then I must have died back in that damned room, and now I'm writhing in hell. No, I can't be dead. That was all too real. Besides, if that was hell, then where are all the demons and brimstone? No, I don't think I'm dead yet. Though I do have the feeling I'm not done yet. I think I'm somewhere in the Chakua forest. If I am, then I'm in deep shit. More people go missing in this forest than in the city. Worse still, the ones who are found are either in pieces or have gone mad. One thing I remember is the sounds I heard were not normal. I know what the animals in these woods should sound like, and what I heard sounded nothing like that. Like any animal I knew. I hiked until my feet bled. It was there that I regretted the type of footwear that I had chosen. Sneakers and moss covered rocks and steep inclines don't mix. The damage to my ankle seemed at the pace that I had began. The damage to my ankles seemed to be way scream at the moment. I woke up. I was badly swollen and bruised. The top of it was go was hang on, and bruised. To top it off, I didn't even know the right way to go or even what direction I was going. By the creator, this place is creepy and miserable. All I want to do is get out of here. For now, I found shelter in a shallow cave. There is somehow a water source. I've tried to start a fire, but to no luck. The whole place is so damp. I can't even get anything lit. I'm down half my lighter fluid, too. Hunger has set in strong. How long has it been since I ate? I still can't imagine sleep out here or how I will find food. I've heard stories about eating bugs, but I don't know if I can do that. At least that damn song has stopped. The sky seemed normal too when I can see through the fog, which seems to only part for the moon. As I readied for sleep, I found myself asking another question. A strange smell filled the cave. I can't put my finger on it for now. I'm just going to try and rest. I remember the smell now. It was freezer burn. 25th to 26th of Caldoria. Sleep didn't come. I also learned something. I can't eat bugs. I decided to explore the cave. Another bad idea. I smashed my head and scraped my knuckles. My hands searched the cave frantically. I wasn't long before I stumbled over something. After a moment of confusion, I realized that I tripped on a rib cage. I didn't know if it was human or not. I started screaming and crawled backwards. My hands fell on something. It felt like cold ceramic or metal. I got to my feet and ran. It was sometime around then that I grabbed the object. With my feet firmly on the ground, I ran to what I thought was the entrance to the cave. The freezer burn smell was strong enough to make me choke. I realized I needed to turn just a moment too late. I fell hard and fast down some steep slope. I remember thinking why there was so much wood in this cave. I must have hit my head pretty hard. Everything went black, for I didn't know how long. When I woke up, I shook my head. My lighter and all was sopping wet. To have my last smoke would have been great. But that's when I saw all the bones. I screamed and dropped my lighter. The sparks had revealed it. It wasn't wood. I rolled on, but fucking bones. I immediately picked the lighter back up. Striking it again, it finally lit. They were human. All of them. I could see my breath. Shivers wrecked my body from both fear and cold. This place smelled of walking meat freezer. I looked down at the objects in my hands. It was a flashlight. I checked the batteries. They worked. Thank the creator. I noticed some dried blood on the glass. This unnerved me. But whoever owned it doesn't need it for now. I pressed on to find people impaled on stalagmites. Some were partially eaten. The others looked to have been mauled to death. At least they died before being, destroyed. Or skewered is what I put. Sorry, I just had to read it for a minute. I misspelled that. Skewered. I hope I went before being skewered, I hope. I went deeper as the temperature continued to drop. Deeper still till I came upon a frozen lake. It was then that I turned back. I was lucky to have made it as far as the entry was. When I made it back, the sun was coming up. I sat at the entrance trying to slow my heart. I kept thinking about the bodies and how it was so cold down there. Worse was the bones. There were so many. Is down there has been eating people for a very long time. I could spot a small island off to the middle of the lake that stretched out before my vision, just beyond the forest. There was a strange statue there. I can't quite remember. For now, I will groan and start walking. I hope to find civilization soon. I kind of like this flashlight. How is the lake frozen? It's spring. So many bodies, men, women, and children. 26th to 27th of Caldoria. After another miserable night, I inspected the flashlight. It was a strong metal made steel. I got a nasty surprise playing around with the three buttons on the end. The damn thing is a taser as well. Gave me one hell of a shock. After I recovered from the shock, I began to look around. Whomever rested here before me must have known there was what he was doing. His gear was almost all still good. I found a stove that folds, some strike anywhere matches, a good jacket, a solar charger, a still working GPS, a couple of MREs, and at least a good camping knife. Hell, even his emergency shelter was still good. I stopped walking shortly after that, trying to get out. I started walking shortly after that, trying to get out. The GPS says I have 80 miles to go. I hope to get out of this forest soon. I made a deal with myself that I would walk 40 miles a day till I get out of here. I stopped after 20 miles to eat for the first time in I don't know how long. The meatloaf wasn't too bad, but the mashed potatoes tasted something awful. But as they say, food is food. So I ate. Let me see something here. Oh, making sure everybody could talk there. We're almost done with the reading. I'm going to finish up this page. Let's see. But as they say, food is food, so I ate. It felt good to have food in my otherwise empty stomach. After a short rest, I began to walk some more. When I came across a bear, he was massive, way bigger than any bear I'd ever seen. It didn't take long before I realized he was dead. Whatever attacked it, eviscerated it in one swing. I thought it was asleep, but I was wrong. Upon walking around to the front of the bear, I noticed the animal's face had been mauled to unrecognizable for a bear. Its body cavity was empty of all of its internal organs, and meat looked to have been devoured. There was a strange tracks all around the beast. I've never seen anything like them. They resemble wolf tracks, but they were larger. They resemble wolf tracks, but were longer. They were also larger than normal. The wolf print, as long as a man's, as long as a man's, I had found an old abandoned silo nearby. For now, this will be home. The GPS shows that I've traveled 42.8 miles. However, I don't believe sleep will come after the finding of the bear. I must try. What? What did this to kill the? What did this to be able to kill a bear? I'm sure that whatever killed the bear is still close. But was the fight what I heard the other night? What's up, Light? How you doing, man? I'm just reading from my novel for a little bit. GPS is dated 31st of Caldoria. I got enough time to read one more page, guys. And then we're going to start the hangout and see what you guys think. Last night I saw it. Whatever it was that killed the bear, I saw it. I don't know if it was I don't know if what I saw was real or a hallucination, but I damn sure felt real. Whatever it was huge. At the tip of the pointed ears, it had to be 12 feet. As I watched the thing, it mostly seemed to move around on all fours, but it crouched the whole it seemed to move around on all fours, but the thing oh wait, hang on. But it crouched the whole time, telling me it could be bipedal if it wanted to. The head, from its head to its shoulders, looked like a massive rabid dog, similar to a shepherd, but much bigger. The damn big, if you ask me. The body was that of a man, only it was the buffest man I've ever seen. The legs were distinctly canine, double jointed, and looked to be made for speed. The hands had 5 fingers that ended in claws that looked like black steel. Its feet reminded me of a dog or a wolf like. It sniffed the air. It began to worry. I began to worry if the thing had found me. That's when it looked to the silo, eyes blazing like hot glass. It rose up off the ground. As it did, it let out a long, low growl. I was sure I was dead. I never forget those teeth. One fang looked deadly enough to take my arm off. It was horrifying. The beast showed its full size and howled. I was frozen. I even pissed myself again. That's when I heard something on the roof of the silo. I didn't dare look away. I didn't dare look away from this thing in front of me. The beast got more agitated and let out what can only be described as a cross between a wolf's bay and a bear's roar. Whatever it was on the silo chose this time to leap onto the dog thing. I was looking at it. My impulse was way too strong to hold back. I ran, hearing the bloody battle going on behind me. I didn't care. All I wanted to do was get away. The two monsters battled and covered up my panicked escape. Last I heard it sound like they crashed into the silo where I had just been hiding. I ran till I saw sunlight. Now I sit under a log, hoping these things kill each other. Guess now I know what could best a bear that big. What the fuck is wrong with this forest? And what the hell was that other thing? And was it stalking me? I guess I'll eat something and get walking again. The GPS says I'm just 30 miles out. I just might get through this. All right, guys. All right, Ryder. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to make you upset. Oh, you're talking about whoever you timed out. Oh, what was he saying, man? All right, guys. It's 9:30, and just to show y'all what he was talking about, this is the first draft for it. This was basically what he saw that killed the bear. And I'll be reading that page off to y'all starting next Sunday. All right, guys? But for now, I have to take my medication, and we're going to start the hangout. All right. Ryder, what's got you upset, man? What's got you so angry, Ryder? Oh. Oh, Ryder. Okay. Man, it's a rough day for you then. You know, I'm so sorry to hear that your mom died. You know, brother, we're here for you. You know, you don't have to be upset. You can let it out. Hello, PB. Hello, PB. You know, how you doing, man? Or lady, whoever you are. I know, Ryder. I know, brother. It's going to be hard to handle something like losing a mother. But let me take my meds, guys. I kind of have to at this time. I've got to find some water or I got to go to the house. So give me just a moment to get my meds together. I'm glad you're doing good, man. We're trying to help our friend Ryder out here. He lost his mom. It's okay, Ryder. It's okay, brother. Let it out. Be angry for a minute. You're allowed to. You know, go ahead. Be mad. You know, if you lose your parent, you lose your son, you lose your mom, anything, be mad. You're allowed to for a little while. It's part of the grieving process. Ain't nobody here going to be mad at you for it. All right, brother. Just calm down. It'll be okay. You can be angry. But let's just not spam. All right, bro. Don't be mad about losing your mom, man. Celebrate her today. Remember the good times with her. They'll always be there. They'll always make you feel better. Now, if you guys don't mind, I have to go to the other house real quick to get something to drink, to take my meds, and I will return. But this is muy importante, guys. Muy, muy, muy importante. Excuse me, Shook. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Thank you for being patient if you're still here. It's just taking my meds on time is really important, or else I wouldn't have been able to talk to you guys. All right? I'd have been losing my stuff. All right, man. Come on, Ryder. Chill on out. You gonna chase people out, brother. I have no idea, Elijah. Normally he's all right, but apparently he's lost his mom and he's losing his mind right now. And we're trying to calm him down. But sorry I had to run and take my medication on you, Ryder. But yeah, Elijah, he's having a bad day. He lost his mom. On a day you should be celebrating her. So, yeah, it's a hard day for him. Okay, he's lost both of his parents. So that's even worse. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. It's a horrible thing to have to deal with. Yeah, he is. He is spamming Beverly. Hang on. Ryder, can you do us a favor and just not spam? All right, I think you're looking for attention, man. We're going to put you in timeout until you can calm down. All right? Till you can calm down, okay? What's up, Elijah? Sorry about all that, guys. He was having a bad day or he was just trolling. And I was trying to help him, but yeah, he was definitely spamming. So yeah, everybody welcome in. Is my Jin still in here? Let me get rid of some of these so I won't lag. All right. Oh, why is my Jin angry? What you angry at, baby? Why you mad, baby? Oh, Elijah. Come on now, bro. All right, man. Chill the hell out. All right, we're going to have to end the live, guys. Yeah, we're going to have to end the live, guys, because he's just going to take and keep canceling what people are saying. So, yeah, I'm going to go on ahead and let you guys go for right now. And when Ryder decides he can calm down, he can calm down. But when he comes back, I'm taking the wrench away. So just so you know that, Ryder. So sorry about this, guys, but we're going to have to end it here. All right? I do apologize.